Hi, what's up everyone? I'm Pratima and today we're comparing all of the best Android camera phones of 2026. I have tested and compared all of the camera phones launched this year, so this probably will be the deciding video that will tell you which is the best Android camera phone of 2026. So let's go. But before we move to the camera samples, here are the camera specs of all three phones. I know Samsung is not looking the best here. This phone barely has any real hardware upgrade over last year's S25 Ultra, while Vivo and Xiaomi not only have major hardware upgrades but are affiliated to top camera brands of the world. But still, I am going to be optimistic and I will give you my honest, straight from the heart opinion on which I think is the best, starting with the wide 1x images. And one thing I realized after using a Samsung flagship after such a long time is Samsung's color optimization really stands out. The colors are just so eye-pleasing and the white balance is the most accurate. Vivo, in my opinion, comes second. Most of its images have that consistency in color reproduction, while Xiaomi's color rendition is all over the place. The images are too bright sometimes and it tends to lift the shadows a lot. Even with the X300 Pro, the shadow processing is something that the phone struggles at, and most times it tends to underexpose the images by 1 or 2 stops. But then details is something Samsung fails to preserve, even though it's clicking with a 200 megapixel sensor, while I have no complaints when it comes to sharpness and details from both Xiaomi and Vivo. So keeping all the consistency Samsung provides in colors, dynamic range and shadow processing, I think I favor the S26 Ultra, at least in daytime situations. But at night, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra shines through and through. The exposure and highlight management is impeccable in Xiaomi's photos. Now, to be fair, it's Vivo that does the best post-processing and maintains the best details among the three, but Vivo isn't able to sort out the glare issue. Samsung, on the other hand, well, in specific scenarios like this Dio image, has the best contrast, while Xiaomi's image is totally flat and Vivo's colors are somewhere in the middle. But apart from that, there is a lot of noise in S26 Ultra's images at night. Details are quite subpar and most times highlights are messed up. Next, talking about ultra-wide images, I don't know why, but Xiaomi and Vivo just seem not to care about a wider field of view, and their images are only a tad bit wider than the 1x images. So I am going to cut some marks for their ultra-wide images not having that ultra-wide perspective. Samsung, on the other hand, has a much wider field of view. I mostly like the colors from Samsung more, but S26 Ultra's photos are quite noisy during the day as well as the night, while Vivo and Xiaomi's photos are clearer and sharper than Samsung's. Well, then again, Vivo underexposes the images sometimes for no reason, while Xiaomi tends to overexpose, so that leaves us with Samsung that has the most balanced exposure. I think if I have to rank them, Samsung would be number 1 for me, then Vivo, then Xiaomi at number 3. But I'll tell you, just for reference, the Vivo X200 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro Max have had the best ultra-wide images out of all the phones that I have tested so far. Next, portraits, and I feel like this is the area where Samsung needs to work on, because the kind of leap Vivo and Xiaomi have taken in providing great telephoto lenses, the option that they provide to give various focal lengths in order to give different perspectives, it's just commendable. Honestly, Samsung's 10 megapixel 3x telephoto lens feels like the most unnecessary thing, because it's the same old sensor, and if not for good lighting conditions, its output is quite noisy and really not as good as Xiaomi or Vivo. The other 5x lens is what delivers, and I have to say, when it comes to the skin tone, Samsung is the most close to natural. The S26 Ultra does brighten the skin a little bit, but not unnaturally, so I like that very much. Vivo, for some reason, has this yellow tone which sometimes it's so unsettling, while Xiaomi tends to whiten the skin tone a bit too much. I think Samsung for me is the middle ground. But then Samsung has the worst details and edge detection among the three, while Xiaomi has the second best edge detection and Vivo has the best details and edge detection. And Vivo also gives you a lot of focal length options. So in the end, I think it depends on what you like what kind of portraits you prefer. If you like a social media ready output, Vivo provides that. If you prefer something more natural looking, Samsung is your best bet. And if you like slightly more artistic, dramatic portraits, Xiaomi does that well. Like black and white portraits are the best from Xiaomi. So if you ask me which one I like, I will slightly tilt towards Vivo. The same telephoto lenses on Xiaomi and Vivo are responsible for macros too, and I would like to officially kick Samsung out of this competition, because while I am able to get this kind of subject focus, background blur and sharpness from Vivo and Xiaomi, Samsung's macros look like this. I think Samsung could have been intuitive enough to use their 3x telephoto lens for macros, but no, that did not happen. And among the X300 Pro and the Xiaomi 17 Ultra, I'm a little biased towards Vivo. I think Vivo's macros have excellent depth of field and better exposure control, and it can go closer than Xiaomi too. Even when it comes to zoom images like 20x or 30x or further, both Xiaomi and Vivo tend to manage colors and sharpness better than Samsung. Vivo's decision to add dedicated chips for pre and post processing really shines in zoom photos, because not only the X300 Pro has better details, but it removes the noise from the pictures very well. Xiaomi does not remove the noise, but its zoom photos are good too. They're sharp with natural details, so I'm going to split a point between Xiaomi and Vivo. In terms of selfies, however, I will definitely side with Samsung. Like the portraits, the colors and skin tone are more close to natural, followed closely by Vivo and then Xiaomi. For some reason, Xiaomi has this contrasty orangish color tone that looks really bad, at least in most of my selfies. I only wish Samsung's selfies were wide though. Vivo's is the widest, if not as natural looking as Samsung. So I think when it comes to selfies, it's a good tie between Vivo and Samsung, while I wish Xiaomi would roll out an update to make the selfies better in the coming days. Selfie videos are good from all phones though. Vivo's is the widest and Samsung's is the narrowest when we talk about field of view, but quality-wise, all three do a good job. I know you must be thinking, when Samsung's output is not that wide, how can it be a tie? But Samsung has the best microphone quality among the three, while it's a close tie between Xiaomi and Vivo. Hi everyone, so right now we're doing a microphone test from three phones, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, and now I've switched to the Vivo X300 Pro, and finally we have the sample from the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. Which one do you think is the best? Let me know in the comments. Although I have to mention, none of the selfie videos are as intuitive as the iPhone this year. The noise reduction and voice enhancement features and the square sensor really sets the iPhone 17 Pro Max's selfie videos apart from any other flagship phone in the market right now. The 1x videos are quite neck and neck too, at least stabilization wise. Samsung has the best colors, Xiaomi's dynamic range handling is good, and Vivo is not bad either. Actually, there is nothing really significant that sets the videos apart from each other during good lighting conditions. At night though, Samsung clearly needs to deal with a lot of noise, and Vivo has a little bit of glare issues to solve. Xiaomi handles highlights the best. Honestly, I like Xiaomi the best at night. It's wide, it's clear. Vivo comes second with good sharpness, while Samsung clearly needs better processing. The ultra-wide videos, just like the ultra-wide photos, are the widest from the S26 Ultra with good colors. You will also get the most stable videos from it. Vivo's ultra-wide videos are just average in wideness and stabilization, while even Xiaomi's is not wide enough for my taste, but I have to mention that it handles dynamic range very well, like in this video right here. So it's kind of like a tie between Samsung and Xiaomi, while Vivo loses some marks here. But I will give Samsung an extra point for all the new features they've introduced this year, like the horizontal lock feature they have introduced. It's quite a fun feature to have. And then there are other perks like shooting in log and being able to view different LUT previews in real time. And not to forget, the S26 Ultra now allows you to shoot in APV codec that lets you shoot near lossless HDR videos. Also, a little point for Vivo for producing some nice portrait videos. The videos are a bit cropped, but the edge detection and sharpness are better than Samsung and Xiaomi. And Vivo lets you shoot at 4K 60 FPS too, while the others don't. Slow-mos, on the other hand, are good from Samsung and Vivo. Xiaomi's is just so-so. Lastly, I think I have to talk about some AI features, and well, I don't think it's a surprise when I say Samsung is ahead in this game. Samsung's AI eraser is the best when it comes to clearing difficult obstacles in images. Their new generative fill in the gallery Adhikari app works quite well, and things like AI sorting out screenshots on the basis of relevance are quite useful features, and Samsung's AI implementation is better than both Xiaomi and Vivo, so it's fair to give an extra point to Samsung here. Alright, a quick look at the scoreboard, and clearly there is tough competition among these flagship Android devices. The lack of innovation in the S26 Ultra clearly is a disadvantage for Samsung, especially when it comes to the telephoto lens, and that is exactly where Xiaomi and Vivo have taken over. I think my verdict would actually be a suggestion to all of these companies. Number one, Samsung needs to learn from Vivo and Xiaomi and provide newer lenses to remain relevant. Number two, Xiaomi has great camera hardware, but the optimization is still quite not there. I think consistency is what Xiaomi lacks. And number three, Vivo, I think, is going great in the camera department. Just making sure to put a little more emphasis on the video side will definitely help it become the camera king in the future. I am actually more excited about the Vivo X300 Ultra that launched in China recently. I will make another camera comparison when that phone launches. So till then, I'll take your leave, and if you appreciate our hard work, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications icon. Saying this, I'm Pratima and I will see you in my next video.